I'm teacher Lawrence with you in this biology lesson, and today we are going to talk about cassava mosaic disease, a viral disease that is affecting our cassava in Africa, and it is so gross that the damage is too severe. We are going to start by watching a video about CMD in Africa. Be attentive, let's learn from this video. Thank you.
2 years age.
Such an informative video. Now, cassava mosaic disease, as we've already seen from the video, is a viral disease affecting cassava. And because of the disease, the productivity of the plant reduces seriously. Why? Because the disease damages the leaves, and that limits the process of photosynthesis, which lowers the amount of food that can be manufactured. And once there is less food, automatically growth and development of the plant will be limited, and even the amount of food stored in the roots will also be reduced seriously. And automatically, to farmers, that leads to serious losses. So we can see from the picture one that the plant generally is having scorched leaves, which leads to stunted growth like in this plant. And the second picture, we are seeing root tubers that have been harvested, which are really very small in size, all because of the cassava mosaic disease. So next, we can look at how is this disease transmitted. According to the video, it was clearly stating that the white flies are the major vectors of the cassava mosaic virus. They are the ones that carry the virus from one plant to another. So how are they like? Now in the pictures, we have two images. The first image is of a leaf that is having a number of white flies. On this leaf, the white patches you see there, these white patches, these ones, those white patches, all of them are the white flies. They are so small in size, but you can easily see them with your naked eyes. And here we are taking a closer look at the white fly. It has been magnified so that we can easily appreciate its structure and how it looks like. So you realize that here there are many of them, and these white flies specifically suck sap from the cassava plant. And if the cassava plant is affected by the virus, now it will carry that virus. As it goes to another plant to suck, it will end up injecting that virus into a healthy plant, leading to transmission. So it's the major vector for the virus. Secondly, transmission can also be through planting infected stem cuttings. You know that cassava is basically propagated using stem cuttings, but if you use cuttings that are already infected with CMD, automatically the plant will also be having the disease. So be careful, choose wisely the planting material. Thirdly, we can easily transmit this cassava from one infected plant to a healthy one using garden tools, especially if they are not properly cleaned or disinfected. So let's be careful whenever we are working. Remember to disinfect your working tools, especially if you are working in a field where some plants are already attacked by cassava mosaic disease. Next are the symptoms of cassava mosaic disease. Now, cassava mosaic disease shows a number of symptoms, but the most striking one is a mosaic pattern in the leaves. The leaves have patches of the yellow and green. Now the yellow and green, that is now giving us the mosaic pattern, and where you see the yellow part, automatically it means it is lacking chlorophyll, and that pattern automatically means it cannot carry out photosynthesis, or it reduces the space where the photosynthesis can take place. Since we know that the green carrying matter inside there is chlorophyll that absorbs light energy. Secondly, the leaves become twisted, narrow, and deformed. So we can look at this from our second picture here. It is obvious the leaves are really scorched and small in size compared to the healthy leaves. Then stunted growth, as we had discussed, it comes as a result of limited food supply because less is manufactured. So there is less that is available to enable cell division, proper cell division, and consequently plant growth. Then lastly, there is poor root development or yields. Let's take a look at this plant. When you look at these tubers, really, if you are harvesting and you find they are all of this size, you will have already lost. These are very small sized tubers, and it is as a result of limited food that has been stored. Why? Because less has been manufactured by photosynthesis. Why? Because less photosynthesis took place. Why? Because the leaves provided a small surface area for absorption of sunlight. Now, what plant processes are affected by this CMD? One, cassava mosaic disease affects photosynthesis. Because of the yellow patches and then the reduced surface and then the scorching of it automatically reduces the amount of chlorophyll that can be packed in the leaf, and that leads to lowering of food production or photosynthesis. Secondly, impaired growth and development. Because of a low food production, less amount of food is available to enable or facilitate the processes of cell division and then cell elongation and whatnot. And if those processes are not fully facilitated with food that is required, then it will lead to stunted growth of the plant. Next are poor nutrient translocation. The leaves that are affected are always having channels through which food substances are transmitted, and those channels are veins and the midrib. So when the leaves are being scorched, even the veins in there are also affected, which limits proper transportation or translocation of food from the leaves to other parts of the plant. It also lowers root tuber enlargement automatically because less photosynthesis took place. It means less food is available or manufactured, and therefore less can be stored, which limits the enlargement of the tubers. And to a farmer, that means you are going to get losses because of poor harvests. Lastly is susceptibility to stress. Diseased plants become weaker and more vulnerable to drought and pests. So next is how can we prevent this cassava mosaic disease? One, use resistant and tolerant varieties by planting improved varieties, and these can be obtained from certified organizations like NARO. So that you are sure that what you have planted can actually resist the disease. Secondly, if you cannot reach such organizations to get tolerant breeds, then you can use healthy cuttings. Go to the field, ensure that you search for the healthy plant cuttings before you allow them to go into your new field. They should be disease-free, and sometimes you can even have them dipped in some disinfectants so that they are clean. Next is control of white flies, and that is through cultural practices. And one is intercropping, and the most common plant that can be intercropped with the cassava is maize. Secondly, planting alley planting, basically when the rains have just started, and that is now to avoid white flies peak, to avoid the peak when the white flies become very many. By that time, your cassava will now be already at the harvesting stage. Then lodging, you uproot and destroy diseased plant early to reduce the spread. We can also emphasize or ensure good field sanitation. Keep the field clean. uproot all the weeds, and that reduces white fly population because they cannot easily get where to hide, especially during the day. Then crop rotation also helps in breaking the cycles, especially of the white fly and even the virus itself. So it is good, it can be practiced. Lastly, whenever you are working in the gardens, remember to disinfect or clean the working tools so as not to spread the virus from one plant or from one place to another. Members, thank you so much for your attention. That comes to the end of our lesson.